All right, shalom, shalom. I'm just gonna get into this quick hit, but this brother here, I'm gonna put the link into the description of this whole video if you want to go check out the whole video. But this showing when Israelites, been coined the so-called Moors, but the word Moor just means so-called black. All right, but you had the so-called Muslims. All right, then you had the Israelites. That's the best way I can really explain it, but I just breaking it down. But they was ruling Europe. All right, and this brother gonna go into this information and show King James' father, all right, about he was a so-called black man of Jake, but we ruled pretty much the whole Europe, and the Edomites was pushed back into obscurity. Man, we had them in the Caucasus Mountains and various places, and they was actually in some parts, in slavery. All right, so let's get into the first scripture. Then we're gonna jump back here. All right, but we had submitted these devils. This is the book of Luke 8 and 17. All right. For nothing is secret that should not be made manifest, neither is there anything hid that should not be known and come abroad. And this is just, saying this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that's coming out in these end times, right? Let's hit another one. Let's go to the New Living Translation right here at the top. It say, for all that is secret would eventually be brought into the open, and everything that is concealed will be brought to the light and be made known to all. So let's get into this video. All right. And this brother did a real good presentation of breaking this down. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna be posting more of these videos to edify the body. But let's get into this. And name of this book is called The Negro Rulers of Scotland and the British Isles. All right. Let me show you something real quick so you get an idea. All right, you see this is a map of Europe, and I'm going to show you something real quick. And as you can see from your left, I'm going to start to the left-hand side. You see Portugal, Spain, France. You see the proximity it is to Africa. You know what I'm saying? You go up right here. You got the United Kingdom. You got Ireland and Scotland in this area. But Jake had, the Israelite, Slovakia, had took over most of Europe, you know what I'm saying, at this particular time. Germany, you had Jake in Russia. Our people was everywhere, man, in Europe. So the so-called white man will present to you as he always occupied those lands, and that's just a lie. All right. First, it was the Japanites in that area, which was so-called black men, right? And then, you know, just different time frames. It was different things going on, without getting too deep. You know what I'm saying? But it was a time that's been coined the so-called Dark Ages, when the Israelites and the so-called Moors, which was under the Muslim so-called Islam religion, ruled Europe. And I'm gonna show you proof. Give me 1 second. All right, so I'm gonna get into the main part of this video. Like I said, I'm gonna put the link inside of the description if you want to go check out the whole video. And the video is very edifying. So let's get into this.
All right, in 1840, by the same people of the German Hanoverian dynasty. In 1917, the dynasty was renamed the House of Windsor that exists to this day. So if it's all the same, why all the switching? What's really going on? Who was that? Kenneth MacAlpin the Niger. The Christian converted Moors picked this Kenneth MacAlpin, who was also called Niger Val Dubh, was the first king of the Scottish Alpin dynasty. The Scottish archaeologist David MacRitchie stressed that Alpin, the father of Kenneth MacAlpin, was a half-black Pict and half-black Scotch, whose son Kenneth was the first to merge the two foremost branches of the blacks in Scotland. When Kenneth MacAlpin died, his younger Moorish brother Donald I succeeded. Donald I. Alright. We talking 858 AD. You see that? So the Moors didn't just stop. Our forefathers didn't just stop at Spain and Italy. We kept it moving under persecution and all that. We ain't just ruled there, we kept it moving. Ruled all over the map. 943 AD. Indolph. Let me get on up here some more though. I'm gonna show y'all something. Show y'all King James Daddy. You tell me who this looks like. Who that look like? That's King James Daddy, Henry Stewart. Oh, they called him Lord Darnley. Like Rick James, don't he? The Protestant Henry Stewart, also known as Lord Darnley, was the son of Matthew Stewart and Margaret Douglas, the daughter of Margaret Tudor. You know that series on HBO or Showtime called The Tudors? They was black too. The sister of King Henry VIII of England. Lord Darnley's mother was a descendant of William Douglas, 2nd Earl of Angus, who was a grandson of King Robert III, a descendant of the Scottish Black King Kenneth the Niger, through his great-grandfather Robert the Bruce. Go King James' mama, Mary of Scots. She was a Roman Catholic, though. You see how, look, his father was a Protestant. His mama was a Catholic, showing you that, look, we the same people, but we divided in belief. And then her is insinuating that his mama had his old dude killed. She was boning more than him. A Roman Catholic Mary of Scots, who loved to wear black garments, was the daughter of the Scottish King James V, who was a descendant of Fergus the Moor. James V is back here. Well, this is James IV right here. This is James III. Alright. The ancestral father of Kenneth MacAlpin Niger, Val Dub, and Kenneth the Niger, from which evolved the Stuart. She was announced queen at the age of 6 days old and crowned 9 months later. She was only 6 years old when she was sent to France to become the future queen. In AD 1548, Mary, who loved dark-skinned men, married the dark-skinned Dauphin Francis II and became Queen of France. It says Mary, like all other Stuarts, was a descendant of Robert the Bruce, who was a descendant of Kenneth the Niger. And Niger, again, is Latin. That's Elizabeth, who loved to paint her face. Women, like you women today, y'all paint your face white. But she was a sister. She was a sister. Alright? Here you go right here. King James, the Episcopalian Moorish King James VI Stuart, was the son of Henry and Mary Stuart, whose bloodline stretched all the way back to the Pictish Scottish King Kenneth the Niger. He became King of Scotland in AD 1567 through 1625, following the death of his mother Mary, and was chosen by his cousin Elizabeth of England to succeed her. This colored king was the first to unite the British Isles and Scotland under one rule. His name is the most well-known of all European kings, since he authorized the King James Version of the Bible and named it after himself. His 6 feet dark-skinned and big-nosed wife, Anne of Denmark, who praised her darkness and the beauty of being black, became the mother of 7 children. Y'all still throwing it gay? When a man was gay, obviously not. Nigga had 7 children. And one of his daughters, that's his son who was beheaded. And this is granddaughter and grandson, who the black boy in is named after, Charles II. The black Protestant and Catholic King Charles was the son of Charles I, who was beheaded in AD 1649. Prior to the death of his father, the young prince exiled to France to live among the Medics, who were of his mother's side. While residing in France, a parliamentary exhibited a wanted poster throughout England for his arrest. The poster referred to him as a tall black man. Charles' nickname while living in England was the Black Boy. and there's many more, y'all. Yeah, we can go on even back. Kenneth the Niger, Dub. That's 962, 966 AD. Cullen. Kenneth II. Constantine III of Scotland, Kenneth III of Scotland, and there's many more. Malcolm II, Kenneth IV. So shout out to the brother, Dr. John L. Johnson. Cause bro, believe it or not, bro like me been studying this for years. Let me get y'all another close up on another book that's very informative, written by a Scottish archaeologist named David MacRitchie. The name of the book is called Ancient and Modern Britons, Volume 1. And he goes into like the same information I just was reading about the Scots and the Picts. He goes.
All right, you see what it is, and this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures coming to life, right? And I'm gonna get into some more videos. It is, but this heavy, man. Knowing this history, all right? We just wouldn't know, you know what I'm saying, how the so-called white man got us betrayed. And it's very important to know this, man, because it's gonna help formulate who you is and putting on your identity for us as being a Hebrew Israelite. All right, we weren't always in this condition, all right? And we headed back towards greatness, right? But it's a lot of chaos that's getting ready to happen throughout the earth. And it's through great tribulation we're gonna enter the kingdom, all right? Kahala Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Shalom.